Here's an unpopular opinion. I don't think the government should be paying people to have kids.
This is United Aholes, a video cast discussing cultural topics with no filter.
Welcome back to United Aholes, Area 41, Brian Maroney's favorite spot on the internet.
Brian Maroney.
Yeah.
He's on his t-shirts and PEI.
His movement is quite hot.
Brian's one of my favorite politicians of all time. I could watch that old chin roof for hours.
My grandfather used to have a piggy bank of Brian Mulrooney's head. It was awesome.
Amazing.
What's Brian Mulrooney using for a head?
What do you guys think is the best thing that, he's responsible for? Ben, probably, eh?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Not much. So we want to talk about something.
Yeah, we were talking about kids at work, and somebody disagreed with me, and I just thought I'd share my opinion with you guys and see what you guys had to think. I don't think that the government should be paying people to have kids.
So is the government paying people to have kids?
No.
It doesn't sound reasonable.
You don't think so?
Doesn't sound like an accurate statement. So elaborate.
So, is there no such thing as family allowance?
They're not paying you to have children.
If you have kids, do you get paid?
Small assistance in raising children.
Okay.
But you're not...
So do you get the money if you don't have kids?
You're not like, man, we ought to have 10 more, baby.
So you get money if you have kids.
Some people
We're rolling in it. It's awesome. Yeah. And it all depends on how much money you make. If you make more money, then you don't get any help at all. Right.
That was going to be my second point. We're paying the wrong people to have kids.
Whoa, okay, but what's saying the wrong people? What do you mean by the wrong
The ones
people?
that can't afford it themselves.
Okay.
You talk about welfare.
I'm talking about the government handing out checks if you have a kid. I think that needs to stop regardless of who you are.
It's actually, I think we're really discussing the Canadian child care benefit, a monthly amount given to families that have kids under the age of 19.
Under the age of 18.
Correct. Sorry.
Yeah.
You were thinking of when we can start drinking.
Yeah. Or have anal sex or something.
Yeah. So we know your stance on it.
Yeah.
It should just stop. Okay. So the reason that they started that was because they wanted people to have children. It was an incentive.
To spruce up the tax base.
Well, to spruce up the population.
Is that really why it started?
Yeah.
So they really are paying people to have kids, at least at that point.
But again, it's not a living.
Sure.
It's not like...
I'm not saying it's their job, no, but they are getting money for having kids.
So
I don't think that's right.
Okay, so how do you populate Canada?
Well, there's multiple ways. One, you could just do tax credits as opposed to paying you. That's still an incentive. Two, there's immigration.
Right, so what does immigration cost versus...
Costs less than paying for a child, in my opinion. I don't know the exact facts.
Yeah, I didn't look up stats on this, my bad.
But
I thought
it depends if you're talking refugee immigration or just straight up immigration.
Right, I'm talking immigration, not refugee immigration.
I'm assuming that at the end of the day, it would be a wash.
They have to pay to come into the country. They have to have a job to stay in the country. They're already contributing back to taxes the moment they land.
And it is not cheap to become a PR.
So children you pay for 18 years, and maybe or maybe not do they become a productive member of society.
But that could be said the same for immigrants.
No, you have to have a job. You have to be a productive member of society before you can be considered.
Okay, so if they end up unemployed, we just kick them out?
After they're a citizen, no. But immediately, yes.
Okay, so...
Yes. So immediately, yes.
Okay, so... But at the end of the run for either one of them, the child could become a non-protective of member, but so could the immigrant.
Yes.
So that's
but one, you're paying for 18 years.
Right.
And one, you have a better shot because they are employed at the time that you give them citizenship.
So I have a question, and I don't know, honestly. When you hit a certain age, do you get government checks? Just like
yourself?
Sure. Like, is
If you
there
are in some sort of welfare situation,
right?
yes.
Like
No, sorry. So like a 95-year-old,
Yeah.
they're not given.
You're talking like pension.
Well,
Yeah, like the
no.
Canada pension, old age pension.
Yeah. How
Yeah.
does that work?
That's
Do they pay into that?
Oh, yeah.
We all do. You do currently.
Yeah, you're paying
So
into it.
would you agree with getting rid of that on the same kind of argument?
No, because they had to pay into it to pull out of it.
Yeah. Okay. I never.
You had to be a productive member
It
of
wasn't
society.
a good argument.
Yeah. No, it's a good
I
question.
haven't said something in a while, so.
I just wanted to contribute to the conversation. So then, what is your aversion to it?
I think it's a waste of money. I think taking money out of people's hands to put it into people's hands is, one, a lot of work that doesn't need to be happening. Plus, it's incentivizing certain groups of people to have kids. I've heard the statements. They can't afford kids themselves, but it's okay because the government's going to give them more money for having another one.
But those,
And that is the wrong mentality in my mind to have kids.
Those people are going to get money anyway.
Yes, they are.
Right.
But
Because
now they're also creating another generation of those people wanting to get money.
That is grossly incorrect.
That is statistically correct.
Because there are several people, I know of people who were raised on welfare who are now productive members
And
of society.
I can say the exact same thing in the
And if
opposite direction.
And if it hadn't been for the welfare,
They wouldn't get out.
they may not even be here today,
Right.
type of thing.
I am not
So-
saying we shouldn't have welfare.
Okay.
I'm saying we shouldn't pay people to have kids.
Yeah. See, I don't know
You don't
why.
make the distinction.
I don't know why I'm so against the way you're phrasing that, but I am, because it's not like I
The
got a
government
letter.
should not put money in the mail to families because of
So we just
their
we don't
family has grown.
we don't help families out at all. It's just
No.
It's okay.
No.
So you just do or die.
If you need help, you need help. You'll get help. If you have a kid, you shouldn't get more help.
But the help goes for that person, that little person.
Right. They should not be incentivized to have that little person if they're in a position where they need help.
Trust me, it's not an incentive.
It is. I've heard people say it. So I know it may not be an incentive for everybody, but it is an incentive.
So you want to punish the people that are.
It's not a punishment. You made a decision. I just don't want to encourage you to make that decision by giving you a check in the mail every month that's a little bit larger than the one last month because you had a kid.
Okay, but you're talking about people that are using the system.
Maybe.
That's what I mean. But if you're
Well,
want
even
to
if you're
take it
not
away-
using the system and you have a low income job,
yes,
you are going to get a check in the mail because you have a kid.
right.
Right. I'm saying you shouldn't do that.
Okay. Based on what?
That's my opinion. That's
Okay.
yeah. Taking money,
He sees
taking
it as
money out of
a,
society
Because it's
and
not a lot of money.
It doesn't matter.
he sees it as a waste of money.
It's
He
the person
doesn't think that
regardless.
funds should be
If you
diverted
want to have kids,
to that.
that's great. You have kids. Stop taking other people's money to encourage you to have kids or to use for your kids. And there's no guarantee that money goes to the kid.
I would bristle at other people's money because
That is other people's money.
No, I pay my taxes the same as you do.
Exactly. That's other people's money. That's the whole
I
concept.
contribute to the tax base by working and so on and so forth. So helping families get along.
Right. And if that was a tax credit, that would be your money that you did not have to pay in. But where everybody has to pay in and now we're giving you some back, that's other people's money
You're
now.
splitting hairs
I
at
am.
that point, though. You're saying,
But that's the
don't give
process
it
I
to you
want to
once a
stop.
month, give it to you once a year by a tax break. I mean, it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other.
It's not giving it to you though. If you didn't earn it, you don't get it. That's the difference. That's why it has to split hairs. A tax credit, you don't get money back if you didn't earn any money. If you didn't earn any money, you still get a child benefit check.
Yeah, but again, you're taking people that, again, you're talking about people that use the system versus people like
I'm
Randy.
talking about the child benefit check.
So that check that Randy and I get,
Yeah.
because we are the only ones here with children.
The only ones that have children that they know of.
There we go.
They're getting paid for.
But, see, that's the thing.
I thank you for your fucking money, you whiny little bitch.
Thank you.
No, I actually kind of agree with Ryan, and I'm not going to disclose numbers, but I think the amount of money that I get monthly, mind you, I appreciate it, especially in the condition of the state of my family right now, with my wife being ill and off work. But even when both of us are functional, I think it's a lot of money myself.
Fucking sponge.
I am a sponge. But I do think it's a lot of money. Although I would state that I think we should rewrite the income laws so that instead of me paying in an obscene amount of tax, which is also a lot of money, my tax per check, I don't open my pay stub for that main reason. I don't want to see that number.
Right. You just go to the bank and see what you got.
Yeah, right. I don't want to see the pay stub because it makes me very angry how much I pay, especially when you drive home and break a rim on your car or get a rock through your windshield or something along that line. Yeah, it can eat at you a little bit, considering that's where that money's supposed to be going along with paying all these high taxes on fuel. I would much rather it be a tax reduction at the employer level. So basically, when you're at HR, you produce the birth certificates of your children, and that reduces the tax base that HR or your employer would take out of your check or your pay, salary, whatever, and you retain that money.
He doesn't want you to have that, though.
I'm fine with that.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not, because
I am.
We're getting.
You can't
that
tell
now.
me what I'm okay with.
We're getting that now in a different form.
There's a difference between the two.
We pay taxes, and at the end of the month, you get some back from the government.
You do.
And you're saying...
Not everybody does.
Yeah, because we have children. And he's saying, if you have children, you say, here's my children, this is what I have for children, so I pay less taxes at work. Is that not what you're saying?
Yes.
It's the same thing.
No, it's not.
The difference being...
It is.
No, the difference being, Brent, the difference being is if I work at Tim Hortons and I produce the same number of children and show that I have those, the amount of taxes, that are being taken from me are less. Therefore, the amount of money that I would technically be taking out of the system would be less.
It's still a break based on the fact that you have children, which is what I thought you had an issue with.
It is.
The
It is
administration
not the break
costs
for having children.
probably
It
be
is
less
the
in the
government
long run.
collecting money and then distributing that money again for people that have children, regardless of their income.
Yeah, I still think you're splitting hairs.
I am splitting hairs, but that's the distinction you're not getting.
Because you're basing it on, if you have children, you shouldn't get any help. That's what I'm getting out of it. You're saying your
I'm
opening
saying
statement
you
was
should not get money in the mail from the government just for having kids.
okay, but I should
if
pay
you
less.
want-
But I should pay
If you
less
want to have a
taxes.
tax credit, I'm okay with that.
If they were the same,
That's an encouragement to have kids, but I'm not paying you for it.
if they were the okay. So it's
He's
an
saying cut
encouragement.
out that whole red tape section of the child tax credit.
So you have no problem with families having help. You have a problem with how it's being done.
Yes.
Right.
Correct.
And by the rules of which you get it and what volume you get it from it. So the issue being is a super low income family or a zero income family getting way more.
Yeah, but again, those people, there are always going to be people that use the system regardless.
Right.
It's either that or we become communists and everybody gets told what to do.
Right.
So,
Or become capitalists and fuck everybody.
well, yeah, just everybody's
On your own.
And
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
out there.
Once you get spit out the womb, you're on your own from day one. That's it. So, mom and dad raise you. They shove you. They shove you out the door at 18 because you're not worth anything anymore, and say you're on your own, Junior. So,
It's time to make more.
Yeah.
so if we're again, like I said, there's going to be people that are going to abuse that system, and actually, it doesn't matter what system you've got in place.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to abuse it.
Right.
It may be the guys at the bottom. It may be the guys at the top.
I've abused many a Super Nintendo.
Now, one thing.
Did you clean them
with
off afterwards, though?
I blew on them.
Your guys'
you did.
idea of okay, you've got kids, you're going to pay less taxes than this guy. One, that would make incentive for them to keep their job.
Sure.
So they're still being a productive member of society, whereas the other way, not so much keeping the job. If, okay, I can make more money if I went this way and just popped out babies, or I'm just guessing here because I don't have a fucking clue. But I would think that way would work better in society than the other way.
More better. Yeah.
More better.
Absolutely more better.
I was gonna let it slide.
That's not the asshole way.
So you don't let stuff
And then
slide.
bring it up later on when the camera is off during discussion. It's passive aggressive dig.
Anyways, that was my fuck up for the night.
So, you guys haven't still come to an agreement, I take it?
No, I don't
Well,
think we will.
we're not going to because he lives a different life than I do.
Absolutely.
So and if he could see, like, this conversation could go on for days.
Can you guys just answer one question for me? Because like I seriously don't know. Because one, I don't have kids.
What does a girl look like?
Where do
Just
babies
how they're
come
growing.
from?
Are their vaginas sideways?
You guys making any more of them their kids?
So
What the fuck?
And if so, can I be involved?
the
Family allowance?
the family allowance that you get
The Canadian Child Care Benefit.
used to be called family allowance, right?
And then it got
Still is,
changed
but
to
it's
child
not
tax
public.
credit.
Yeah. So, anyways, is the amount that you get the same whether you make, say,
No.
no?
It diminishes the further up you get to the point where you just get nothing.
Okay.
Oh, you actually okay?
Yeah, it's a tax.
So you
bracket
could
type
have
thing.
3 kids like I do and make a lot more money than I do and end up paying or getting $0 from the government.
Okay.
Let me put it into perspective. I've been sitting here trying to think of a way to say something else other than asking you the same question over and over again. Here's how I will put it into perspective for you. I would much rather that my life be such that I make too much to get the child tax credit. That's a more enjoyable life. Okay?
I don't understand what you mean.
Okay, if I made enough money between my wife and I that the government went, now you guys are good, you don't need the benefit.
Right.
I would be happier with that than being in the tax bracket where I'm at and getting.
It would be more difficult
Because it's not, like I said, I understand that you
I'm
say,
sure most people would say
I understand that you're saying that you wish you don't want them to do it anymore, and that's fine. I don't care one way or the other. That's your opinion. You're entitled to it. But it made me think when I'm like, does he think it's that fucking great? Like it.
I'm not saying people are making a living off of it, but it does help.
It helps.
And I've heard people say, I'm going to have another kid to get more help.
Yeah, but those people are idiots.
Okay, but
because
that wouldn't
amount
happen
of money,
if they weren't making money.
Okay,
And that's
yeah,
how they see it. They are making money by making kids.
So you punish my family
No.
because somebody can't make smart decisions.
No, actually, in your case, you'd probably do better because
if
you
we
are an
reverted
earner,
it to the other.
because you are going to get more money back from your taxes.
Yeah. My paycheck simply
Regardless
would
of
be
how
bigger.
much money you
Yeah.
make, you're going to have this much money as credit.
Yeah.
If you make 20,000, it's the same amount. You just don't qualify for it all.
Yeah.
But if you make 100,000, it's the same amount.
'Cause
that's what a child is worth to the Canadian government. Great,
Yeah.
that's your credit.
I've been in different tax brackets with different jobs where we received less, but we were so much further ahead with the earnings that the less on the family allowance didn't matter
Right,
because moving that next
Right.
Well, that would be ideal,
and that's
how it works.
part of the
No,
issue.
but that's what I'm saying is
That's your goal.
that's
the
yeah,
goal.
that's preferred.
Right.
But with the industry I work in, some years that's not what you end up with. So, you end up with less. I'm in sales. And some years you're like, oh, fuck, right on.
You were going to
So-
say something, sorry?
Oh, I was just going to say, but would it be more beneficial to, like what you said, take it right, off of your paycheck? So at the paycheck level, you actually get more rate, like say you're paid every week. So
Twice a month, that's how we're
Or
paid.
twice.
15th and 30th.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So-
if my
Yeah.
paycheck
Yeah.
twice a month were better than it is now,
Yeah.
and it were better again such that it's like you're coming ahead instead of having the family allowance, then that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
That would be great.
So there we go. You guys have solved the government's thing with.
Yeah, I came into this with a solution. I wasn't just griping.
Yeah.
And I've talked this solution over with other people. Whether they agree or not is still an opinion.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there we go.
Just
Everybody
griping.
needs to
I'm
get
not saying
jobs.
it wasn't griping. There was definitely griping.
So let
in
me
there.
ask you this then. So you're totally fine with a family getting some sort of help in the form of whatever, whether it's a tax break, whether it's, you're okay with the help for the family so that we can raise productive members of society.
If
it's
the
it's the
government-
mode of delivery that you have an issue with.
Right.
Okay.
If the government says that having children is beneficial to the country
Yes.
and that we want to encourage that,
Yes.
great. That's a decision that was made. Help the people have children, great. Give them the credit.
Yeah.
You earn your credit by earning money.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't earn money, you don't get a credit.
Which
You don't get a paycheck, right? There's no money coming back. It's either you pay in or you don't pay in.
Yeah. Which would encourage, I suppose, what you were talking about is generations of people being on the system. They would grow up learning that, making more and then having a family is
Making
more
more.
beneficial. So
Right.
you should go out and get an education, get a good job, and so
Right.
on and so forth. So,
The assistance is there to the
Now-
people that want to earn it.
but would you still do the tax bracket part, or would it just be clear across the board? If you make $200,000 a year and you have 2 kids, you still get a break because you have a family.
In my opinion, if having children is beneficial, then the child is worth a value, and that's the value of the break, regardless of your income.
If you're income, all right.
This feels like fucking Lord of the Rings of YouTube videos. Like none of this is consequential to me at all.
Even the taxes walked in that movie.